All right, guys, welcome to the stream. I think we can go ahead and get started. We're only about 2 minutes before 2 o'clock, and I can see 7 of you guys are already here, so I will be able to chat with you guys basically every 5-10 minutes. I'll take a break, basically
All right, guys,
kind of get out of the game, and
I think we can go ahead
here.
and get started. We're only about 2 minutes before 2 o'clock, and I can see 7.
Sorry about that minor technical difficulty, guys, but what I'll try to do is every 5 or 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and minimize the screen so that I can answer a few questions, stuff like that. I think today what we're going to really try to focus on is actually specifically my favorite kingdom in the game, next to Kazoth, and I'll show you who that is, and that is Berany over here. Now, Berany is basically, as you guys can see, they've got this incredible sort of like dragoon uniform. Almost makes me think of a dragoon or a hussar or something like that. And they're cavalry heavy. They're a cavalry heavy faction, but at the same time, they're one of the few good factions that is militaristic and aggressive. I don't know how they make that work, but it's wonderful. And one of the things about this particular faction I really like is the incredible cavalry units, the incredible charge damage you can do with these guys. It's pretty badass. So we're going to go ahead, and I think first of all we'll start with Berany. Eventually I want to take a look at some of the bigger kingdoms, and actually I'll let you guys decide what kingdoms would you guys like to see. If you want to throw that in the chat screen, I'll absolutely touch upon those. You know, we haven't even taken a look at the Dark Elves yet here in Cyricil. There's a lot of different kingdoms we could choose from, so make sure to drop that down below and we will consider one of those. So for my beginning, for the start here I should say, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start with Berany, and this is obviously an interesting race to play with, to say the least. Not an easy race to play with. They are humans, but they have a fairly small landmass, and unfortunately, even though their cavalry is exceptionally good, it's also incredibly expensive. You really need to have a bunch of different resources to be able to purchase them. So as you can see here, Berany is among the newest established realms on the continent, having sundered from the Baruvian Empire barely a decade ago. The resentment of the Empire is still strong, but Berany is militarized to protect its claims of independence. Its cavalries in particular have risen to fame, and the overall quality and morale of its army is high. For all its diligence in establishing a new state, secure from wars and reclamation, Berany's rule has been marked by a distinct lack of public works and welfare. Anything of beauty in Berany was built in an earlier age by the Empire. The Beranies are quick to prove themselves, perhaps a bit too quick. A heightened sense of honor has made duels unnervingly fashionable, and ambassadors of surrounding realms brace for Berany's next move. So very, very cool there. And I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick look at the armies that I have. Right now I just have one army, but look at the size of this army. And just the actual units in this army are absolutely something I adore. And I'll just take a look here real quickly. Just basically, you know, just basic pikemen here. We have duelists, that sort of thing. Really pretty and interesting setup here. So I think what I'm going to do right away, I'm going to start getting here on the border because I already know who I want to attack, and unfortunately it's going to be Eladon here. They're not exactly going to be very happy. We'll go ahead and end the turn and allow Eladon to sort of answer back. Now the thing about Berany is, unlike a lot of the races that I played in the past, the economy in Berany is important. So we're going to have to focus on building up our economy as much as we can. I'm going to go ahead and get the Spring Bloom perk. That always happens. It's sort of just part of the game. And I just want to take a quick look at these provinces. We've got Steedham, Paltram, Lancehead, and of course just Berany itself, and St. Leo. Now St. Leo has the Sanctuary of Erin, which the XP of 5. Only good units may enter this province. It's controlled by a good realm. So basically, you know, orcs, stuff like that are not welcome. I'm going to go ahead and move in here, get ready for the war with Eladon. Let's also try to grab some more units, purchase some more units, and just to show you guys, as you can see, just to actually get our infantry unit, we're going to need 1 beer, and for our duelists, we need even more. We need 1 wine and 1 finance. So these are not cheap units, to say the least. They really aren't. Luckily, we can actually buy a few squires and advanced squadrons, so I'm going to go ahead and get some squires. These squires, incredibly, I don't know, for those of you that have taken a look at my channel, Agrippa Maxenius on YouTube, I did try a Berany LP, and the squires are awesome. You know, you would think, like, these guys are just squires. You know, they're not knights. What could they possibly do right? But you'd be pretty surprised. So I'm going to go ahead and just purchase those 4 squires. These are going to help us, obviously, in our conquest. We'll go ahead and see if we can upgrade the economy, but right now, we just spent all our money on squires, so that's unlikely. We'll go ahead and end our turn here. And even though Eladon, as far as I know, is a fairly nice kingdom, we're going to have to go ahead and get rid of them. Oh, wow. A hero has rallied to our banner, guys. All of our disordered units are no longer disordered. For every objective you currently own, all your units heal 5 life. If you currently own a landmark, your units also gain 1 move. Oh, yes, I will hire him. I'm going to drop him in my main army. And basically, I mean, that's a great skill. The whole point about Berany is we really want to use our cavalry, the speed of our cavalry, to take the enemy cities as quickly as possible. Because then we could use that spell, regain our health, and be right back on the battlefield. So I think that's really cool. I'm going to go ahead here, and we can finally start upgrading the economy. I'm going to go ahead and put some funds into Lumpard. It's 4,500 gold, so it's expensive to upgrade, but it's worth it because obviously our economy is a major part of our kingdom. Let's go ahead and end turn. Wow. Oh, no, no, no. So I do need beer. This is true, to raise infantry units. But they're asking for 5 horses. 5 horses to us are very important. I mean, we rely on horses. So I'm going to have to reject that trade and just say, sorry, guys, I can't accept that. It's just not good enough for me. I do want to go ahead and try to get some more units into this army before I charge into Eladon. So I'm going to wait for my squires to finish up. We'll go ahead and actually look at that. They're finished. Crazy. We can go ahead and start deploying them. So let's put them over here in this army. And we will start a new army over here in this province of Lumpard, because obviously we're going to need to eventually start forming a new selection of units. So we'll go ahead and end our turn. First, we'll see if we can boost the economy. Doesn't look like we can. That's all right. So let's go ahead and get ready for a major battle, because I see already a huge army in Eladon, and I know that's exactly the army we're going to want to go for. Let's take just a 2-minute break here. I'll try to take a look at your guys' comments. Interesting. Yes, sorry, Bodnabot. Go ahead. This is a good point. I bet you guys would be pretty messed up at this point. In any case, yeah. Just making sure that you guys can see the screen, all of that. All right, beautiful. So at least we have some chat going on. This is a good sign. It means that things are still working. Let's go ahead and charge, drink another shot, into Albion now, because at this point I'm getting pretty sick of these guys. I want to kill them. And of course, this is a good faction. As you can see, we're going to actually... No, we're not supposed to attack these guys. We're really not, because they are good. And we're supposed to be the good guys, therefore we're supposed to attack the evil kingdoms, etc. But I want to show you guys a big battle, and I'm hoping we get one here out of Eladon. Let's go ahead, charge in here. And I believe we're going to have to wait a turn, which is interesting. Unless there's some sort of strange little glitch going on here, because usually I can move right into that section, but we'll see. Non-aggression pact by Dragonhold. Why would they ask me for a non-aggression pact? They're like all the way across the world. All right, I mean, I guess, yeah, I'll accept. Why not, right? I mean, I suppose so. Charge! Yes, here we go, and this will be a major battle. Great. I think this may be the biggest battle we have played on the channel so far on this stream. So let's go ahead and get into the tactical view and start setting up our men. One thing I don't like about this area, we've got one bridge to cross to get in here. And this could really spell doom for us, to say the least, because the enemy's going to look at that and they're going to go, ha ha, they've only got one entrance into our kingdom. They're idiots. And we kind of are. And had I known there was only one bridge entering this kingdom, I may have rethought my attack. But you know what? We're Baruvians. No, we're not. Are we Peruvians? Of course we're not Peruvians. We're Beranians. Well, we're Peruvians, but not anymore. And that means we're stubborn folk. We're going to go in here, and we're still going to do our best. Now, it looks like the enemy has primarily militia. That doesn't worry me too much. And I think the first thing I want to do is go ahead and get some massive charge damage. And just look at that, guys. You can even comment in the comments below. Look at that ridiculous charge damage. 42 to 57 casualties. This is why I love Berany. They're just awesome. So let's go ahead. We're going to smash in with the charge damage. We'll have our infantrymen go up and try to finish up some of the guys. And I'm willing to bet that pretty soon here, possibly in this turn, that unit is going to be dead. We're going to go ahead and continue the charge damage. And as you can see, that was one of our squires. These squires, they might as well just be called knights. They're that good. We're going to go ahead and keep smashing into these guys. We also have a horse archer. Well, Berany's light recon unit, and I'll certainly go ahead and launch some arrows over here at Provincial Watch. Let's go ahead and take our advanced squadron. These guys I'm not too familiar with. I know they do massive charge damage, times 5. I mean, I love watching Berany fight. I really do. And as you can see now, we've taken a city. Now, this adventure card we have, we could use because of that city to gain 5 health. But obviously, we don't really need 5 health right now. We're kicking these guys all around the place, so nothing to worry about. But let's keep moving forward. And I probably shouldn't even have attacked these guys with the duelists. I'm just kind of getting ahead of myself because we're doing so well at this point. And let's go ahead and get these guys in the water. Eventually they'll cross over, but for now they're going to have to wait their turn. So here we go. Oh, I left my Uhlans back. This is my favorite unit. I wanted them to kill things. Okay, well, fair enough. Let's go ahead. We're going to end the turn and see what the enemy does here. Now, I'm guessing they're going to retreat to form a shield wall. I would. Don't know if they're going to do the same. Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. So there we go. You can see they're stacking up all these spearmen together to see if they can form a formidable shield wall to stop my units from crossing that bridge. I don't think it's going to do much good for them, but you know, I'd like not to lose many men. The thing about the Peruvians is we really need to try and keep as many guys alive as possible because, you know, refitting these guys and getting new cavalry units is not cheap. It's just not. So let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, we'll finish off these fellows here. I like to sort of, with the Peruvians, move forward and essentially crush the units behind my lines because with the Peruvians, you're moving so quickly that it's quite easy to go ahead and flank the enemy. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I'll go ahead and give the infantry... I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should I let the infantry kill this Provincial Watch, or should I give the glory to my cuirassiers? I think I'm going to go ahead and attack with the infantry, finish these guys off. We do believe in codes of war, so I'm guessing our troops would take some prisoners here. Let's go ahead and take a look here. As you can see here, because of the shield wall, they're actually not nearly as susceptible here. Casualties, they'd only be taking 20 to 25, as opposed to hitting this unit, which is separated from the group. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to be a sneaky little bastard, and I'm going to hit the units separated from the group. We're going to try to kill all the stragglers we can. So let's keep moving forward. We'll move this guy here, and... what should we do with our advanced squadron? Actually, I don't like... I feel like you should be doing more damage than that, but oh well. We'll accept it and keep moving these guys across the river. Okay, here we go. I could have charged with the Uhlans, but I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. I'm going to go ahead and consider charging with the cuirassiers here. And I think possibly hitting, once again, another straggler is the best idea in this case. We also have this unit, and even though these are horse archers, they do an exceptionally good job at attacking. Berany just has cavalry that's awesome all up and down the board. So we're going to go ahead and... There you go, you can take your shot, man. We're going to fire 7 here. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's it for now. We'll go ahead and end. I really do want to use this adventure card just so you guys can see what it does, but we'll wait a little longer. At this point, I feel like this battle is more or less in our favor, unless the enemy does something absolutely crazy. And that ballista is not something I like. As you can see, they just took a nasty chunk out of my cuirassiers. I could just imagine a bunch of horsemen falling down with huge, giant arrows in their chests, but hey, what can you do, right? And here we go. The enemy is definitely pulling those units back together, and you could actually see those shields pop up. They're getting that defensive bonus, so we want to really stop that. That's not gonna be good. Let's. Wow, really? Do you guys see that? No way! No way! Fair enough. So right now their defenses are actually holding up really well. I'm surprised, guys. Let's go and grab these guys. I didn't say ahead. You better not take that shot. Put it down. Put that down. Put it back on the desk. All right, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and move forward with the infantry. Now you can take your shot. And let's attack these guys. I really want to just get our infantry units here to deal with the shield wall. Because sadly, the horsemen, it's going to be hard to deal with the shield wall. All I want these horsemen to do is basically kill the stragglers. Eventually, we may be able to bring them in to go ahead and deal with the shield wall here in the center. But for now, it's actually kind of a pain in the ass for us. It's causing us problems. This wall is going to kill a lot of our horsemen. And all they have are militia units, provincial watch units, which really annoys me. But of course, as you guys know, provincial watch do have spears. Obviously, spears work very well against cavalry. So in this case, maybe the best militia unit you could imagine for an army of cavalry to deal with. All right, let's move up forward again. And like I said, I want my infantry really to mostly take care of these shield wall situations. So I am going to go ahead and sadly sacrifice some of my infantry to deal with this. And as you can see, this is why I love the Uhlans so much. Despite having the shield wall bonus here, we're going to smash into this provincial wash and still do a tremendous amount of damage. I'd like to go ahead and finish off this unit with our advanced squadron. And I believe we can. Boom! Do we still have movement points with the light recon? Yes, we do. We're going to go ahead and charge. Once again, we're not using our arrows at all. We're just charging in. And look how quickly we just totally annihilated that right portion of their army. This is why I love Berany so much. The movement that they have is so quick. They're so versatile. They're just really, really cool. So let's go ahead and maybe end the turn. Why not? Now, we actually got a tiny defensive bonus there, but it really doesn't make much of a difference to me. And while we're actually smashing or being smashed by the enemy here, they're actually putting up a good fight. I'll go ahead and take a look at some questions down in the chat, so we'll take a little 1-minute break. Yeah, you're definitely drunk, Pume, because you spelled drunk with an L. You should stop now, man. You've had enough. I've said go ahead enough times. Yeah, you can retreat and you can abandon the fight, bot and abad. You definitely can. In this case, we don't need to because we're going to win, more or less. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to win. The biggest concern for me is we're going to lose a lot of cavalry units, and they're not cheap to rebuild. So I'm trying to basically keep as many of our cavalry units alive by the end of this battle as possible. Captain Ryan, yes, you can cross rivers with your units, absolutely. Do I recommend it? I don't know. I don't really know if there's any negative aspect to crossing rivers with your units. I would imagine there would be, but the issue is it takes longer to cross the river. Bot and Abad, that's a good question. I'm pretty sure that just means that I've ended the turn and that unit can no longer move. If anybody can correct me on that, please do, because I may very well be wrong. Let's go ahead and take a look here and see what the enemy's done to us. Wow, man. Wow. A pretty good job here by the enemy. Really taking the initiative to try and defeat the Peruvians. Well, it's not going to last very long because we're going to slaughter them, and at this point, we're not even going to take any prisoners. We kill all. I will charge in here, and boom. And we'll finish off just one by one. Awesome. Now, we have this advanced squadron, and I kind of want to use it to hit one of these enemies here, but we're going to take a pretty nasty hit. So let's try and just make sure that our other units have attacked first. Also, look at this. I mean, I can't not take this attack. The charge bonus against these surveyors is massive. So we're going to go ahead and charge into the surveyors. 52! Ooh, that's painful. And we may as well just go ahead and finish them off with our Berany's light recon unit. Let's go ahead and take our squires. I was going to say, I would be surprised if those guys did not shatter. I'd be very surprised. So as you can see, this unit is going to be a pain in the ass. Since they have that shield wall, no matter what we do, we're going to lose horsemen taking this area. So I'm going to go ahead and sadly lose some of my horsemen in this charge. Oh, ow. Oh, man. It just has to happen. There's nothing I can do. And I don't want to lose any cuirassiers, but once again, The battle must continue. The show must go on. So we're going to charge in there with our cuirassiers. Of course, I would never send my advanced squadron in here simply because of the fact that, obviously, if I did, we would be surrounded by spearman units. So we're not going to do that. We'll go ahead and attack the enemy here and just slowly sort of wear them down, as it were. And eventually here we're going to use this card. In fact, we may go ahead and use it. I can't believe I didn't take this city. I'm kind of annoyed at myself now because we could have easily used it after taking this city. Let's go ahead and end our turn to see what the enemy has in store for us. Ooh. So they're tangling with our duelists. At least I'm happy they don't seem to be attacking our horsemen directly, and now they're sort of restructuring their lines. I don't like that at all. This means that they're trying to move those weak units away, and they actually just managed to get one of their units captured. I don't think I've ever had that happen in Sovereignty. We actually just captured one of their units. So I'll let you men decide what to do with the prisoners. What would you guys do with these prisoners in this battle? We are technically a good empire. We're supposed to be good. We're supposed to follow the code of war. But to be fair, we just attacked an empire that's also good. So what do we do, guys? Do we slaughter these prisoners? Do we keep them prisoner? What would you guys do in this situation? Post in the comments. Oh, hello there, Tom. Welcome to the stream, man. We're going to go ahead and we're basically in the middle of a battle here as the Beruvians, and really trying to essentially crush these enemies here. So let's go ahead and see if we can finish off this ballista. And at this point, I'm pretty sure that the guy that posted the go-ahead comment is in some sort of alcoholic coma. So I don't blame myself for that, but I certainly am not surprised. So here we go. The ballista is really my main concern, because this thing, despite not having, how should I say this, any particular uses besides just firing missiles, can do a tremendous amount of damage when those missiles hit their targets. That's one of the problems. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to get behind the enemy. As you can see here, always try to take the stragglers. We'll move this unit here, taking that city, and continue our attack. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use our card at the end of our movement phase. So first, I'm going to go ahead and crush this guy. Charge into the enemy over here closest to us. In fact, wow, do a tremendous, oh my goodness, I read that wrong. I saw that as 24 them, just ridiculous. Oh well, not much we can do now except continue the fight. So let's at least try to get rid of these surveyors. And in fact, if I can hit their horsemen, or I should say their pikemen as opposed to their surveyors, I will. But in this case, we're much better off hitting the surveyor unit. Let's see if we can get these duelists in here to do a little bit of damage to these guys. And we certainly can. Pretty even fight, obviously, and I'm surprised. I gotta say, I didn't expect these Eladinese scoundrels to make it this far. I'm kind of actually confused that they would make it this far, but oh well. Let's go ahead. We'll use our adventurer card, and look at that, guys. We steadied all our units. Our movement is increased. Just about everything has increased. That's hopefully going to save some of our units, because our cuirassiers are in a bad way, and I don't want to lose these guys. They're very expensive to replace. Let's go ahead and end our turn. Alright, so they broke one of our squire units, but they didn't shatter, so we have to accept that and just be happy with that. It looks like they're once again reforming that shield wall. These guys are so sneaky, but I would do the same thing in their situation. Okay, I like this. They made a mistake. As you can see here, they left two of these poor, tiny little provincial watch units totally outside of the wall. Now, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get these squires the hell out of here, because we want these guys to survive. So I'm going to send them to this city. We'll move our infantry up. We'll start focusing on this unit of squires, and first thing I'm going to do is smash into them with my Uhlans, my favorite unit in this particular army, and maybe in the game. Just a great unit. We'll go ahead and finish them off with a charge from our squires here, and let's get rid of these guys too. It's always good to have some nice advanced squadrons around to trample over your foes, and why not? Why shouldn't the cuirassiers be able to finish these men off? Boom. Squires can come in. Finish the job. Pretty cool. So we've taken out a considerable portion of the enemy army. That's good. Now I want to move these men here because I don't want them attacking our cavalry units. That's the last thing I need. We just broke them, which is a great sign, and that should mean we should be able to finish them off this turn or very soon in any case. We'll go ahead and get a charge bonus here, and since they're broken, that shield wall isn't going to do a damn thing for them. So we'll use our duelists. We'll smack them one. And at this point, all we can really do is wait for the battle to end, wait for the enemy to be completely shattered, annihilated, as it were. In fact, I should have attacked these guys up here, because we could have probably crushed them this turn, but, you know, shit happens. Okay. And I'm sorry, I try to keep this stream family-friendly, so I'll try to keep the awful words to a minimum, if it were. Right, let's see. I'm a little concerned, actually. I didn't expect for this to be such a tough fight. But these guys still have a few units that could definitely do a lot of damage to us. So we're going to go ahead. We'll end the turn. Looks like they're going again for the duelists. They really don't like our duelists. I don't see why, but they seem to really like to attack our duelist units. Wow. So this is one thing I guess I've sort of seen the problem with Squires, despite being great on attack, defense. Their defense is not great. And at this point, it looks like these sapper units, or these surveyor units, excuse me, are trying to sneak behind our lines. How dare they? And take this city. I mean, so disrespectful. We're going to have to teach them a lesson. We'll go ahead and slaughter those surveyors. They won't be bothering us anymore. And at this point, we want to go ahead and move in here, utterly crush the Provincial Watch. I'm going to get the charge bonus here, and this unit is separated. Once again, we work these guys just little by little. We're working them down to the bone, trying to destroy them, separate them so that that shield wall is no longer useful. So we'll go ahead, smash into those guys, and as you can see, those guys are utterly annihilated. And I'm pretty sure with our Ulan unit, we can go ahead and get a massive charge bonus on these enemy Provincial Watch. And sure enough, we did. We broke the unit. Didn't shatter it, though. That's a little weird. See if we could shatter it with our Squires. Alright, if we can't shatter it with our Squires, we could definitely shatter it with our Cuirassiers, guys. So we're going to go ahead and charge in with our Cuirassiers and finish them off entirely. We also still have 2 movement points here with these guys. And the first thing I want to do is destroy the weaker units so that the enemy has nothing left to defend their provinces with. At this point, I would say they're in pretty serious trouble, and I don't think they're going to make it through the day. Alright, let's go ahead and end our turn. Oh, you bastards! They got rid of one of our duelists. They got rid of the duelist. I was wondering, they kept attacking it the entire game, and they finally got rid of it. That's my fault. I probably should have pulled the duelist back. That was definitely, that could have gone better. But whatever. We're going to go ahead and smash. No, actually, in this case, and this will show you specifically why you have to be very cautious playing as Berany. If we attack these guys here, since we're next to the tile next to them essentially, we're going to do 22 to 25 damage. That's great. But if we attack these guys here, we get a charge bonus, and we're going to do 82 to 106 damage, which is a pure slaughter. So we're going to want to leave the unit closest to us and attack the unit farther away. This is something with Berany you have to consider a lot. Let's go ahead and smash. Probably just finish them off with my infantry units at this point. I almost feel bad for them. There we go, guys. Berany captures Mayferry from Eladon. We just crush an entire unit. And look at that. That's the unit we captured. That's the first time I ever captured a unit in the game. So what should we do with the prisoners? Slaughter them, perhaps? We took 1 prisoner. So that's really cool. Okay, we've got a medal for our Squire. So we could either give him the Dragon Slayer, or we could give him the Giant Slayer bonus. So I don't see myself fighting any dragons or giants in the future, but anything could happen. So I'll go ahead and take the Dragon Slayer trait. And our Cuirassiers have also received a medal. We definitely want to bonus attack, put a bonus to attack. And our hero has become legendary, guys, which means that we can select a new combat card for this hero. And that's just great. Let's see, we could do the quest. Target 1 standard infantry unit you own. For the remainder of the battle, that unit gains Dragon Slayer, Giant Slayer, and Death Slayer. Or Adventurer's Luck. Target 1 standard infantry unit you own until the beginning of your next turn. That unit is immune to all damage. I love the Adventurer's Luck. It can really confuse the enemy. I'm going to take a quick 2-3 minute break, so if anybody has any questions, post them down below. We'll try to answer them. Yes, zippers! We will kill all prisoners, I agree. Oh, Captain Ryan, he's one of the nicer folks. I think it must be that Kazafian blood that runs through us. We're not really, we don't really like Berany. We just want to kill things, to be honest. This is a good point, Captain Ryan, but sadly we are not orcs, and so our men are not fans of cannibalism. I know, it's tragic. Really is. So we can't make food out of them unless our men were starving, something like that. In this case, I think it's pretty cool that they actually added a prisoner system. I didn't even know it existed. So hopefully later on I can maybe hire them to my army, although why would I want those renegade Eldonians in my army anyway? They're absolutely useless in my eyes. Alright, awesome. It seems like enough questions. We'll pop back into the battle, and at this point, you can see here, my army's been pretty badly damaged. This was not easy by any means. And just to take over this region, as you can see here, the economic value of this province is 5, which is pretty significant. And it's going to take 5 turns. 5 turns to be able to take over this province and make it part of our realm. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys decide. For those of you that are watching, I'm going to go ahead and we're getting essentially close to the end here of our stream. Now, last time people said it was too short. I only did 30 minutes. So this time I'm going to sort of put it in the middle and keep it at about 45 minutes. I'm going to take a look here at the map, and I want you guys to select any of these particular realms, and if you would like to have me play as them and show you show them off a little bit, you feel free to let me know down below. We've got dwarves, we've got dark elves, we've got giants, we've got just everything you could really imagine, except vampires, which would be a pretty cool addition, hint hint. So go ahead guys if you have any suggestions, and within a minute, I guess whoever puts the suggestion first, we'll go with them, we'll go with that suggestion. That would be fun. Hey, Java Fiend and Power Axe. I guess since you guys wanted me to play as the Necromancer faction, I will. We did play as Malador in the last LP, or the last stream, but since some of you guys obviously did not see Malador, I'll go ahead and show that off. Maybe dwarves, D-Spores, maybe we can do that in the next stream. Take a look at the dwarves. I think there are 3 or 4 dwarf factions, so it actually would be pretty cool to look at them. But for now, we'll go ahead and... Oh, wow, now Captain Ryan wants to take a look at dwarves too. Okay, you know what then, guys? We're going to go ahead and do dwarves, because we've done Necromancer faction in the last stream, so if you guys want to take a look at those, particularly Malador and Palamor, there's 2, okay? Malador are Necromancers, Palamor are Death Knights. The Necromancers own the Death Knights, but they're separated by land. So that sort of explains that dynamic. As for dwarfs, let's jump right in. I've never played as dwarves, so this is going to be a completely new thing for me too. Now we've got the dwarves of Broganher here. As you can see, they're solid as stone. They're good, militaristic, economic. I like that mix a lot. There's also other dwarf factions, and excuse me if I can't find them all in this game. The dwarves of Corvilad, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take the dwarves of Corvilad for this Let's Play, simply because of the fact that we're getting close to the end here, and I'd like to get one battle as the dwarves. And the Corvilad dwarves are extremely militaristic and aggressive, and their alignment is neutral. So these guys, they could be good guys, they could be bad guys. It's really up to you. We're going to go ahead and play. And I'm not even sure what units the dwarves have. I'm really curious here. In the great wars of Peruvian expansion, the dwarves of Corvilad once had lands as far west as Brave Rock. And look at that, I just got an achievement! And though they lost those lands, they fought so ferociously as to cause the humans to turn their gaze westward for easier victories. And so, unlike Broganher and Sonnenave, Corvilad never surrendered and has never given up the fight. It is home to a proud warrior caste of dwarves who viewed the treaties of Broganher with the humans as a betrayal of their race. That their cousins in Broganher now go so far as to trade with the humans is a capitulation of honor. Corvilad sees the spread of humanity as a great scourge across the lands, and would sooner fight alongside an orc than see one or more province fall into human hands. Neighbors beware, these dwarves are battle-hardened and will venture from their great mountain strongholds to seek greater glories in foreign lands. So this is really cool. I'm totally intrigued by the actual history of these guys. Dwarves that hate humans and would rather fight alongside orcs. I mean, these must be some hardcore dwarves, guys. And any dwarf that's willing to fight alongside an orc, my favorite race, of course, being the orc, I have great respect for. So let's go ahead and take a look just at the units that we can buy here and purchase. Look at these dwarven champions. Oh, so cool. Let's grab some dwarven champions. We'll also try to grab some heavy guards. Unfortunately, the dwarven champions, they cost a lot of... let's see, what do they cost a lot of? 2 gems. Man, that's expensive. We'll grab some heavy guards here. Grab some axemen as well. And unfortunately, that's all we can purchase. We have 178 gold left. Not much at all. And I guess now I have to decide kind of who to attack first. I'm not sure who the human kingdom is here, but I'm pretty sure that Dunmar is a dwarf kingdom as well. And Ivanwood, perhaps, is a wood elf kingdom, I'm pretty sure. Reisenthal may be a human kingdom. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. I'm going to go ahead and merge these 2 armies together. And of course, as soon as our units are finished being constructed, we'll go ahead and drop them into the armies. Yes, new event, Harvest Fair Celebration. I don't care. This is amazing. This is actually my favorite hero right here. All standard units you control may reset their attack. What does that mean, guys? That means I get 2 turns. 2 turns automatically. I attack, I drop the card, I get to attack again. Of course I'm going to hire that warlord. Drop him right there in our new army. And we're just at this point waiting for our other units to finish being recruited. So that should be fun. Wow, I'm telling you, I like these Corvalad dwarves, guys. Just their history alone is intriguing. So here we go. Some of our men are done. It looks like one of our units is done anyway. We're still waiting for the rest. And I'm thinking maybe I should go ahead and hit the Iron Barony. That's probably what I'll do, because we're obviously not going to play a whole campaign with these guys. So I'll hit the Iron Barony just as an attempt to kind of show you guys how these men fight. Try to get a quick battle in. Okay, we can deploy our men. I'm so ready to deploy these guys. Whatever, we'll accept. We shouldn't even be trading with Brogan and her because we don't like them. They're technically, in our minds, crappy dwarves. Okay, so, and one more turn. And I think we still have to wait for our Dwarven champion. I really want to wait for him because I'm curious to see how he performs in battle. Okay, fair enough. I think that more or less the Dwarven champion will probably be out for this battle. We're going to go ahead and invade the Iron Berany, and I think this is actually perfect for a final battle because this is a very medium-sized battle, but each of us have some pretty interesting units, and I'm not even really familiar with them. Look at this. The dwarves have fusiliers. They've got musketeer units. That's just really, really awesome. And they also have a mountaineer trait. I'm guessing that all of the dwarves have mountaineer traits. And also, Karn's Grenadiers. This is the picture you see when you select these dwarves. You see the picture of the Karn's Grenadiers, so they must be an amazing unit. The Axemen seem to be a pretty basic standard infantry unit. Same with the heavy crossbows, and these guys look amazing. The Battle Ragers. Look at that awesome beard. I love it. So let's go ahead. We're going to get started here. Get started on this battle against these orcs. Let's see. Put your bets down, guys. Who do you think is going to win here? Are we going to crush the orcs, or are they going to crush us? I'm going to let you guys decide. I really don't know. Yes, this is very true, D-Spores. I know that in the Warhammer universe, and even in like J.R.R. Tolkien's universe, elves and dwarves are really, really nasty enemies. They don't like each other. Hey, Mr. Goodberry, you're late, man, but welcome to the stream. We're closing down here, but hopefully you get to see this final battle, so that should be fun. So here we go, guys. I don't know who's going to win. I think it's a very even battle. Obviously, I'm playing as the dwarfs against the Iron Barony orcs. One thing I like is they have a lot of archer units, so they're not going to be very strong in attack. This gives us a definite possibility of beating them. So let's first of all get our crossbowmen up. No reason to waste men in an attack when you could just kill the enemy from far away. I mean, what's the point, right? So let's move our ballista up. In fact, I'm a moron because I should have known that that ballista could fire from there anyway, but whatever, we're moving them. Let's grab these battle ragers. I really want to see how they perform in battle, and I want to move forward with my axemen. Apparently they can throw axes. What a surprise. That is pretty cool, though. More crossbowmen. So there seems to be a lot of missile units in this dwarf army, which I find interesting. I always, when I think dwarves, I think guys with giant battle axes just waiting to crush the closest enemy. But it seems that with these guys, it seems to be a much more intelligent form of dwarf, where they're focusing mainly on bombs, guns. They're not too concerned with up and close and personal combat unless it really comes down to it. So this is interesting. I didn't even know archer units could form a shield wall. Apparently they can. And the enemy actually just dropped a card, a Taskmaster. All units you control have -1 discipline for the remainder of this battle. Your opponent skips his next turn. Oh, I hate you, orcs. I hate you. So I have to skip my next turn. They get to fire at me again with all these archers and just kick my ass, man. You guys suck. I hate you guys. This is why I prefer Kazoth orcs. I don't trust these Iron Berany bastards. They just killed my... Damn it! They killed my berserker! He's never coming back. Never coming back. Well, we're just going to have to make do with that situation. So let's go ahead. We're going to open fire here on the enemy with the ballista. These wolf riders are nasty units. They are essentially the cavalry units of an orc army, and believe me, they're nothing to laugh at. They will crush you. They will crush you. We're going to go ahead, throw our axes at these guys with our axemen. I'd like to get much closer to the enemy here, but we'll just have to accept this. And it seems like we're actually doing more range damage than an archer unit, which is awesome. And I want to see how the Cam's Grenadiers, look at that range damage, 26 to 36. That's awesome. That is really, really awesome. So let's go ahead. We're going to move again with these marksmen, or fusiliers, excuse me. Provide some fire support. I love the sound there. You can actually hear the gunshot, which is pretty awesome. And we're actually just crushing an army purely with, I guess, missile units. It's kind of cool. Now we're going to go ahead and drop our card, guys. Reset our attack. And I'm hoping that this allows us to go ahead and utterly destroy the rest of the enemy here. Oh boy, so I guess it's only certain units that can reset their attack. At least our ballistas get to attack again, so we could start crushing these wolf riders. I get the feeling if we were to take out the wolf riders as well as take out the grumgrunts, we have a chance of winning. So let's see how that goes. Oh, nasty shot back. I love the sound of that rifle. It's just awesome. All right, once again, our turn. So I think you know what I'm going to be going for right off the bat. We want to get rid of these wolf riders. Looks like we can't do much with the archer units. We have to back up with our crossbowmen to be able to fire, and that's a bit of a pain, I gotta say. And oh my goodness, look, this is how strong dwarven ballistas are, and this is why when I was playing in the last battle, I was so afraid of the ballista. Just look at that, 20 to 27. We're going to shatter the unit from one missile shot. That's a lot of power there, so it's pretty amazing. Let's go ahead and see if we can finish off the grunts as well. And we're going to move the rest of our boys up here to kill the enemy. It looks like our Fusiliers want to get into some close combat. Fair enough, man. I'll take that. 20 damage. They do a pretty good job. And let's see how our grunts do in terms of melee attack. Or excuse me, our Karn's Grenadiers. Oh man, awesome. So far the dwarves are pretty great, I must say. The damage they do is incredible, and particularly just the missile attacks. I'm really surprised because I always think of, you know, elves as the sort of the kings of missiles, things of this nature. But these dwarves, they're pretty damn good. Let's go ahead and end our turn. Okay, wow. This guy has totally separated from the group, so we'll go ahead and finish him off. It's clear that they don't want to keep him around, and we're going to go ahead and fire the rest of our ballista shots into this unit right here of grunts. We've got to get closer. I guess the only negative aspect I've taken notice of with the dwarfs is the fact that their movement seems to be a little pathetic, to say the least. They can't move very far. And with those short, stubby legs, I suppose that makes sense. Another issue seems to be that a lot of these missile units have to back up a space before they can fire. Although, obviously, if you have a strong dwarf infantry line in front of your archers, that's not going to be much of a problem. So we'll go ahead and end our turn. I'm actually thinking we may win this battle. They're continuing to retreat and try to form that shield wall, and we're just going to go ahead and shatter the Grum Grunts. We'll move in with our Axemen and crush them entirely. Crush them! Let's take our Grenadiers, and we know now that our Grenadiers do a lot of close combat damage. Of course, the enemy has a lot of fire support here. See, if you don't have a shield wall, but you have an archer wall, you get fire support bonus. So every time we attack them, they're going to get support from the buddies around, and that's not necessarily a good thing. What's this, an Orcish catapult trying to move? I was like, what is this donkey doing in the middle of nowhere? Okay, we'll try to kill him soon. Let's move forward, and let's get this ballista to move up here, and we'll end our turn. Oh, they're going straight for Karn's Grenadiers. At least they figured out that that is the most dangerous unit in our army. They're not entirely stupid, these orcs. They know how to fight. And let's smash the weakest unit here. Obviously, I like to take out the weakest link first, because if we take out the weakest link, we basically sever the link. So we'll move our Grenadiers up. We'll charge, and I would never do this with Karn's Grenadiers if I was doing a campaign, because I wouldn't want to damage this unit much. But in this case, we're not, so we're going to do whatever we want with these units. Keep moving up with the Axemen. As you can see, the Axemen can't move hardly at all, especially in the light forest. Even just in the light forest, they don't do very well in terms of movement. Let's go ahead and get these crossbowmen up. These crossbowmen up too. Oh no! We left the catapult. That's okay. It's not that big of a deal because we can always undo the move. But in this case, I think I'd rather take their city, to be honest. I think forget their catapult for now. I'll fire at it if I can, and it looks like we just killed 24 poor donkeys. I really don't feel good about that, but what can you do? We'll go ahead here. And once again, they're retreating again to continue that sort of archer wall, see if they can't save themselves. Of course, they're not going to be able to. I'm going to move Karn's Grenadiers up here, start working on these guys. And in fact, that was a little selfish, because I could have gone ahead and attacked these guys and finished them off, making my attack on this unit a lot less bloody for my own men. 28 to 37 range casualties. That's craziness. There we go. Let's see if we could just shatter this unit with just our archers this turn. It would be hilarious. Oh, we were so close. We were so close. Anyway, I think that's pretty cool. Let's move our Axemen up. Wait, there's still hope? No, they don't have any. Unfortunately, they don't have any more missile attacks. Let's end our turn. And that catapult's going to hurt. I already knew that was going to hurt, but it's too late. Because if all they have are siege units and they don't have any regular units, they lose. Siege units don't count as living units, of course. They're just bits of machinery, really. So there we go. We shattered them. I'm happy about that. I'm going to move the Grenadiers up, get rid of these guys. The Grenadiers are willing to go into just about any situation and get their hands bloody. We've seen that time and time again in this battle. Let's go ahead and try to finish off this other unit. I'll go ahead and throw some damage on these guys and try to get rid of them this turn. Boom. Now they're very confused. They can't create that shield wall anymore, and this is where utter annihilation ends. This is where we completely destroy the enemy. And I must say, excuse me, guys, I'm really, really impressed with the Dwarven military ability. I was almost certain that we would lose this battle. In fact, I was prepared to lose this battle, and we're actually, I would say, definitely winning. In fact, we're kicking the enemy's ass, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead here. Start moving towards these guys. We'll send a few guys up north, and we'll end our turn. As for these men, I guess we'll fire on the catapult, but what difference does it make at this point? Boom! This should be it. Let's take our... And once again, I'm so annoyed by the Axemen's movement ability. Look at that. That's pathetic. Like, they just can't move through forest. I guess this is why elves don't like dwarves. They don't seem to be big fans of the woods. Let's go ahead and fire here. And see, like I said, to fire with these units, we have to move back a space, which is a bit annoying. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It won't end a game, but it definitely makes me want to rethink what faction I would choose. I probably wouldn't personally play as the dwarves because of the movement. I like fast, mobile armies, like the Peruvians, something like that, that have cavalry, etc., and can just, or the Beranies, any of those guys that can just basically create an amazing army of really quick units. That's my thing. But whatever. I mean, some of you guys may like the sort of slow movement but high defense, high attack that the dwarves have to offer. Let's finish them off with our Fusiliers, just because I love to hear that gunshot. Bah! What? Oh, I expected better from you guys. All right, we're going to have to bring in Comms Grenadiers to finish these enemies off. There we go. They're done. And I guess at this point, wow, I thought we didn't have to destroy all siege units for the battle to be over. Well, guess I was wrong. Let's go ahead and attack, and one more turn should be it. They should be done. There we go. Okay, Irony Irony rebuffs Corvalot at Calhaline. That's not possible. They didn't rebuff us. We beat them, but it said rebuffed. What the? That was odd. We clearly won that battle, but that's an example of a tiny glitch. Possibly I hit something with my elbow that caused us to flee, but that was absolutely our battle there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm going to go ahead and set aside 5 minutes just to answer some questions. So this time we kept the stream at about 2 minutes 40, or 48 minutes, I should say. A little less than an hour, a little more than 30 minutes. Let me know if you guys like that amount of time. Yeah, Mr. Goodbear, I guess you were wrong. You thought that the possibly the orcs were gonna win this. Yeah, thanks, D-Spores. I'm very new to streaming. Essentially, what I mainly do are YouTube videos. On my channel, Agrippa Maxenius, AGRIPPA space MAXENTIUS. If you guys want to stop by, take a look, I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, it's true. I mean, if you have any suggestions as to how to make this more stream-like, please post them down below. I'm totally ready to hear them. I always come in with a sort of idea of what I want to focus on for you guys, and if you give me suggestions here, then next week I can obviously do something that you would prefer more. Oh, no problem, Power Axe. I'm glad to be of service. Thank you, Java Fiend. That's really cool, man. Oh, very cool, D-Spores. Did you get here from my channel, or did you get to my channel from here? Does that makes any sense? Yes, Parax, there will be a stream next week. If you guys would like to make suggestions now as to what you want me to focus on, I'll do it, you know, especially if we can get a consensus here as to what you guys want to see. I'll definitely go ahead and focus on that faction specifically. I liked playing as the dwarves, I gotta say. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not a big dwarf guy. I'm an orc guy, but I was pleasantly surprised at how well those dwarves performed. So maybe we'll do a dwarf stream? Who knows? I don't know. It's the same time every week. D-Sports, it's going to be Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're sort of deciding whether or not to keep it between 30 minutes to 1 hour. Some people didn't like it to be too long, some people didn't like it to be too short, so I think this sort of 45, 50 minutes is pretty good for the stream. Yeah, Captain Ryan, I could definitely do that, man. We could try one of the nicer dwarf factions. Clearly, the ones we played with, you could almost classify them as sort of evil. They seem to be friendly with the orcs, which is funny. So I will play with a different dwarf faction. In fact, I know there's one that focuses even more on guns and artillery and cannons and gunpowder than the dwarves we just played with. So I think their Brogan Her is the one I'm thinking of, and they're extremely cool. So I will probably take a look at them. Thanks, D-Sports. Yeah, I agree, Parallax. I really do. This is about when I'm getting run down, and I'm sure you guys are getting run down too. I could go for an hour, I certainly could, but I think it's, I like to keep the last bit of the stream for question and answer like we're doing here. So I think what I'll do is keep it to 45 minutes, and then the next, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'll just answer questions, things like that. But so far, I mean, just from your opinion, guys, for those of you that have played Sovereignty, or just for those of you that have essentially, just been watching the stream, what is so far, in your opinion, the coolest faction? I want to know. Dwarves with shotguns. Great answer, Java Fiend. Yes, that's pretty cool. The dwarves, which I believe those are the Brogan Herd dwarves. Pretty badass. I had the Dark Elves yet. I'm really curious to see how they would perform. And I haven't tried the Wood Elves yet. There are Wood Elves in this game, incredibly. Wood Elves are usually the character I choose in RPGs and stuff when I'm trying to create like an amazing archer. So maybe I'll show you guys the Wood Elves. But I guess from what I've seen here, you guys seem to really like the Gun Dwarf idea. You like to decide, oh, they're damn alarm. Sorry, guys. So we're definitely going to go next week with the gun dwarf idea. This idea of showing off the factions that have gunpowder as one of the mainstays of the faction. I think that'll be really, really, really cool. And yes, Fuxi likes Palamore. You're a dark necromancer like myself, Fuxi. But we can't tell anybody. Oh, damn it! Wasn't supposed to say anything about that. All right, well, we'll do some sort of forgetful spell for them later. We'll make them forget everything they just heard. Gundwarfs or Orc, awesome D-Sports. Yeah, man, I mean, if I could play only Orcs, I would. I'm a Kazov, my favorite faction is Kazov. I'm not afraid to admit it. Iron Barony Orcs, to me, they're of a lower race. They're useless. The Kazathian Orcs are the real deal. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this stream. I appreciate everybody that showed up. Obviously, if you have friends that you think would be interested in this, make sure to bring them in for next week's stream. It's going to be the same time, same day, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure to stop by my channel. I've got all sorts of strategy games there, not just fantasy. I primarily focus on military strategy, things of that nature. That's also an interesting idea, too, Crash. I like that. Like, just basically, like, I'll close my eyes, I'll just kind of take the mouse and move around the screen and just click, and whatever I select, that's what I'm going to play with. I kind of like that. Yes, Goodberry, that's another thing. Actually, that's a great point, Goodberry. For anybody that has not yet played Sovereignty, for those of you guys that are just buying the game now, or just wanting to buy the game from these streams or from the videos you've seen on the Slytherin channel, Dragonhold is a great starting faction, okay? It's north of the Iron Barony, and you may think, like, why the hell would I want to be north of hundreds of thousands of orcs? But believe me, Dragonhold for beginners is, in my opinion, a faction I highly recommend starting with. I really do. They've got really great military units for very cheap. They're fairly easy to control. The economy is good. Definitely take them. Yeah, thanks, Emperor. That's awesome, man, and glad you made it. All right, guys, I'm going to take off here. I hope I will see you next week, too. I really liked having you guys here, discussing this with you guys, and I love your enthusiasm on the Dwarves with Guns. Next week, we're going to get some gunpowder on this stream. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.